Hello, it's Jason here, Pirate Wizard Dragon, and just wanted to do a video upload today for a friend. This one's gonna be a long one, so if you don't want to hear me rant and rave and talk, then please just turn it off right now. I was asked, what do I believe as a human being? And this conversation was kind of instigated by a tarot reading that I did for a friend online who happens to be a Christian, self-proclaimed Christian. So it's taken me quite a few years to get to a point where I can actually have I can't even say that. I still have emotional responses to Christianity, but I can actually now talk to somebody about the Bible and not get all emotionally crazy. I was raised as a born-again Christian. First 13 years of my life, I totally had faith in God and Jesus, and was raised to, read the Bible. And I read the Bible quite a lot. I did have a TV growing up. My parents moved around quite a bit, and we were part of kind of an extreme group of Christians, fundamentalist, Pentecostal sort of, almost cultic at some churches we went to, I would say, just because of the way that they said they saw visions of receiving money throughout the service, or, I saw people act possessed and get, the council would lay hands on them, and I saw some crazy stuff growing up, burning of books and stuff like that. So, I still, though, when I was young, I didn't understand, I didn't quite comprehend the nature of the Bible and nature of being a human. Now, as time went on, I discovered that actually at a young age I kind of had a lot of questions. Like, I remember going to a Catholic priest in town when I was about 9 or 10. I rode my bike to the church and I asked him, why do they call you Father when Jesus said, do not call anyone but Father in heaven, Father. And I remember wondering how Cain was cursed and wandered off and found a wife when there was only Adam and Eve, and Cain and Abel, and Cain killed Abel. And I remember wondering about the soul and how many times it could die. And I remember just lots of questions like that the Bible kind of answered for me, but kind of left me wondering more too. The biggest hang-up I guess I had was I read the New Testament quite a bit, and there was inconsistencies, like the way that Judas died. It seemed like there was two versions of that when they came for Jesus, and there was just different accountings when Jesus rose from the dead. There's like 4 different stories. There was a lot of, the Old Testament God seemed a lot different than the New Testament God to me. I found out that there was 5 different versions for the word God in the Bible, and the more and more I studied, the more I realized I would never truly understand this book. All 3 languages, Aramaic, Greek, Hebrew. This book right here, unless I spent my whole entire life studying linguistics and language and influxations of the way even periods are put into sentences and commas and stuff. And then I kind of stepped away from it because I realized so many people have interpreted that book in so many different ways that I was a bit overwhelmed by it at a certain point in my life. I remember also realizing that most of the Christians I knew were, quite frankly, hypocrites, quite obviously hypocrites. That became very clear to me in my teenage years, when the teenagers I hung out with at church were way different in high school, when I started going to high school. So I don't know, I searched because I did believe in the soul, and I did believe in, I still felt this drawing to the unseen. I'd had experiences that made me believe there was more to this life than just my body and my eyes and the way that I perceived things through the senses I was given, that there was something beyond my senses that influences things. And so, I did that. I studied. I went around and went to different temples. I read. I was a voracious reader when I was younger because I didn't have any television. For the first almost 25 years of my life, I didn't really even bother with TV. I mean, I'd go to movies and stuff, but even now, I wish I didn't have a television. It takes up way too much of my time. And the only reason I have one is because my fiance brought one into the house when she moved in. But that's good, TV is a nice distraction. If it doesn't take more than 2 hours of my day, I'm pretty happy with it. Actually, I'd prefer it take less. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Back to the Bible and religion and my beliefs. What do I believe? So, initially my belief structure was set up by this strange approach to a book that has existed, 40 different authors, 66 different books. There's a lot in the Bible that I can't get behind. I don't have faith in it. So, it's not so much what do I believe as what do I don't believe. And not so much as who I am anymore, is who am I not, and what am I becoming? That's the heart of my perception right now, my belief structure. There's things that I'm not. I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm not a scientist. I'm not the president. There's things that I know I am. I am an artist. I am an artist. I am an artist. I have given myself enough worry and dread in my life, worrying about the eternal afterlife. And what I've concluded and what I believe is that it's beyond my comprehension. We get a little peek into it every once in a while if we're lucky in our life. Some of us fully engage the unseen and maybe get a little more. I got a lot of answers of my unknown questions from the occult, from the hidden, from reading other texts, from studying other religions, which, quite frankly, Christianity teaches are occultic. A lot of sects of Christianity teach that even yoga is demonic. So, after a while you have to go, is everything else evil and there's only this one path? Or is maybe there's all these different paths and none of them lead to anything perfect? I believe that deep inside, that if there was an answer, if there was one solid, beautiful, wonderful thing that worked and people could all unite under it and it was perfect and harmony and God created it for us and gave it to us, then it would spread like a virus. It would spread faster than oil off a tanker in the ocean. That's just the way it would be. It would be so unstoppable and so apparent that it would work. And that's the thing that holds me back from believing in any belief structure 100% is, why doesn't it work? Why are we just too stupid as a species to make it work? Maybe that's a possibility. Maybe there is an answer. I don't understand it well enough to see that it would work. But I guess that's my faith, is I don't believe anybody has one answer. How could they? How could any one book comprehend all that is? All that could be, eternity, the soul, God, all that stuff. So, I don't believe in anything, yet I believe in all of it. I use it as I see necessary. In my experiences with the occult, I've been scared shitless. I won't tell you. None of you would even look at me the same way if I told you some of my ritualistic, occultic experiences I've had, because it's all perception. It's all a matter of what you perceive to be true and what you believe to be true at that moment. If what you believe to be true helps you out, then that's the truth. Our body and our mind work in harmony. That's why you've read stories, I'm sure you've heard of people that a baby gets trapped under a car, they find the strength to lift the car off the kid. They couldn't have done that on a normal day, but they believed it to be true for that second and it happened. So I do believe in the reality being kind of silly putty. I learned that from the cult. I learned that it's not so much black and white everything. Everything's a little gray. I believe in all gods, and I disbelieve in all gods simultaneously with as much strength and fever as necessary for that moment to continue in on this reality in the form that I have possessed at this time. That's what I believe downright. I'm a flexible belief system structure kind of guy. Like, I'll believe what I need to believe at the moment I have to. That's what we all do. And I really think we're all a lot more schizophrenic and selective on what we believe and do than we would all like to admit to ourselves. That's just, I don't know, my faith, because I don't like to lie to myself. That's one thing we do as humans, and one thing that I do. It's one thing everybody does. We like to be the hero of our own stories. Joseph Campbell talked a lot about that. Joseph Campbell changed the way I look at the world. Grant Morrison changed the way I look at the world. Jesus Christ changed the way I looked at the world, when I was a kid. And still, I break it down like this. Like, the Bible, I still struggle with it. Basically, a hippie told everybody 2,000 years ago to love each other and be nice, and they killed him. That's the simplicity of it. Whether he rose from the dead shouldn't matter. Whether he died for my sins, I don't care. He died for his sins, I'll die for my sins. That's what the Bible teaches. There's no soul. There's no soul that's eternal anyways. I mean, how could there be? Nothing's forever. So I don't think it really matters so much if Jesus was the Son of God, or what matters is what he said to do. And that's what nobody does. That's what the point of the whole story was, is not so much. There's a lot of magical stuff in the Bible if you look at it historically. The Bible's a cool book. I'm not against the Bible. I'm not against Christians. That word Christian, Christ-like, I just wish I could meet a few more people that were Christ-like, that truly loved unselfishly and gave and helped the poor and just wandered around doing good things. But I see them pumping gas into their cars just like everybody else. So I don't know. I think I've said enough about the Bible and how I look at it. Like, I have read it thoroughly. There's some things in it that could blow you away if you looked at the origins of the words. Like, I personally think Jacob wrestled with God, not an angel. I personally think there may be some evidence of UFOs and other entities besides God in the Bible that maybe there's a lot of interesting stuff in the Old Testament. There's this council that there's alluded to that God talks to. Like, there's a lot going on in that book. It spans. It's a historical book, but I don't necessarily believe it's the be-all and only way to enlightenment and heaven, because I have discovered through my own studies that that's not the truth. There are other ways of looking at things, and I don't believe if God is just and loving, that he would just have one way. I'm not trying to project myself into saying I could ever think that I could be a god, like, of everything. I'm a god of my own world. We all are. We create what we want, and we manifest the things that we desire based on what we think about and what we put energy into. So in that small g sense, I'm a god. But I don't think if I was God for a second, that's a scary thought, but I would like them, and if my point was to lead people to me through what I gave them, through books and inspiration and whispering into people's ears or granting prayers or whatever, don't you think I would want many paths to me, not just one little path that only a few people, had faith in? No, I'd make all kinds of options to find me, and none of them would be 100% probably, because that's how I look at religion. They're all different, like Joseph Campbell taught. They're all different. It's like a giant puzzle, and you take it and break it up and throw it around. The whole thing makes God, but each piece, is a part of it. That's how I look at God. That's kind of what I believe right now. Now, what do I believe tomorrow? Whatever I need to. I'm not so much who I am anymore or what I'm doing. Like I said, it's what I'm becoming, what I'm hoping to master and gain before this is over, or if it's ever over. As time goes on, as I change, as I strip away what is unnecessary and hold on to what is good, then I will know who I am and what I believe more solidly, because I will have more facts and experience to back up what I believe. Test things out. I believe nothing. I believe everything. It just depends on the moment. We all change our beliefs, and we all shift over time. We all don't. Nobody knows who. I mean, and the thing is, unless you've tested yourself, do you really know who you are? Starve a man for a week and he will be another man. I know this because I have starved literally at points in my life for 3 or 4 days. I lived on the streets for 5 years. I was a different person. I was a savage. And I know if things got tough, maybe this fluffy, woohoo sort of philosophy system I like to adhere to at this moment will be abandoned for one that is much more pragmatic and practical in order to survive in the future. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe things will just get more and more. We will just continue to enlighten as a race and as a species. And I can continue to grow and try to be a good person and love and raise my frequency to a higher vibration as time goes on. There are 2 paths before all of us. Actually, there's multiple infinite variable paths before all of us. And if you don't look at time as being from here to here, there's infinite us. And I don't know, that's part of my belief system in a big way, is its perception. Reality is perception. We all have to change our perception of how we look at things, and it changes the way things are. Whether it's pain, whether it's a work situation, whether it's relationships or life in general. That's how I feel about reality in the way that, because so many people are so miserable, and I'm going on Facebook less and less, and I've kind of deleted my Instagram thing, and I'll be throwing up YouTube videos once in a while because things are going good for me in my personal life, but I'm not as open to share anymore. Not because I'm not as open to share, it's just because the stuff on these sites is just people bitch and complain so much. Like, and I guess I did the same thing when I was in my 20s. Like, I don't think I did, though. I've always been kind of a serious, kind of quiet person. If I got a good friend or something, I might bitch some of my problems to them, but I don't try to dump on people. And God, I can't handle the negativity on Facebook, the first world problems that I see, and just the crap, just blatant narcissistic bullshit that revolves around hurting people for the sake of hurting people. And I don't know, I'm getting a little negative just thinking about it. So that's why I haven't been. I don't even know how I got started on this. I'm not as much on these sites because I really think they stop me from being here now. I mean, I'm kind of talking to myself right now, as most of us are doing most of the time anyways. But this is all for a friend of mine. She asked me to put up a video about what I believe in. I've been thinking about it the last couple of days. I wanted to do some more reading and stuff, and I was like, I'm just going to talk about it because it actually is hard to sit and define not only what you believe, but who are you? And that's something I've been spending my whole life trying to create who I am, because I truly believe that we have way more power over what we become than we allow. And I've done a good job of that. I've created a life for myself that's pretty darn free, and that's who I am. I'm a free person. I can change it up at any second, and I have the freedom to do the things I want now. I'm not quite to the point of freedom where I could travel like I would like to and explore even more perspectives and lifestyles and cultures, but that's coming too. With hard work, I will get there. I have no doubt about my future, that if I stick with my resolves and believe in myself, then good things will happen. That's one of my beliefs, and I frequently try to think like a Jedi. It's one of my little tricks. Be mindful of your thoughts. Do not put any energy into things that are going to obstruct you. If you see yourself getting emotionally negative, I just switch it off. Think about something else. Move on. Don't feed it. Acknowledge it, but don't feed it. So, I don't know if that answers your question thoroughly enough about what I believe, who I am, and what I used to be, and my take on religion and Christianity. Just, philosophies in general. Philosophically, I used to be what I am not anymore, and maybe I will become it again. I don't know. I doubt it, but I just wanted to try to get that out there right now. I know it's kind of short. I thought it would take me longer than 20 minutes to sum up who I am and what I believe, but it's pretty simple. Just be nice. That's what I believe too. Like, just trying to, I mean, if I'm in a bad mood, I stay home. I talk a lot about what I believe in my first couple of videos. I put up the ones explaining my face tattoos and stuff like that. So, yeah, there might be a part 2 to this. I don't know. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me. I'd like to know what you believe. Would you put some videos up? Say what you believe. Let's get some beliefs out there and see what people really are all about. And, you know, does your life reflect what you believe? I mean, I try to make my life reflect what I believe. I don't entertain too many fools, and I don't have too many friends that aren't true, deep, you know, friends. Got lots of acquaintances, but my inner circle, very tight. The older I get, it's not so much what I am, it's what I'm not. I can put it to you that way. It's not so much what I have, because having stuff, when you're younger, you want shit. I mean, I did. I was a lustful, materialistic person. I still am in a lot of ways. I want shit. I want nice shit. I don't want junk. I want something of value. I want something that's going to hold its value for a long time. So I invest in myself first because of that. And I invest in, you know, I buy things that I consider valuable. And that's all perception too. But the older you get, the more you realize that, I mean, that's one of the first things you learn, how to get shit. It's easy. You know, we all learn how to get stuff. That's the nice thing. That's one of the things I believe about this body and this life, is we were given many gifts. We were given, I was given this body with all these senses. And back to the God thing. Why would, you know, the God thing, I have thought a lot about God. Why would I be given these senses, these happy buttons, so to speak, these points of the body that bring me pleasure, whether it's through my eyes, my fingers, my whatever, use your imagination. And then told it's bad, told it's a sin, told it's, you know, ungodly to do the things which bring me pleasure, especially the things that hurt nobody else. Well, that don't make no sense. So this body and this realm I live in, this is why I was put here, was to experience these things. To soak as much pleasure out of every day as possible. I'm a hedonist in a lot of ways. As long as I don't hurt nobody, and you know, I'm not hurting myself. Maybe not too much, you know, but you know, that's the thing. I don't. You can't live every day worrying too much about sin. You're gonna be a miserable person. I mean, sin's a little fun. That's why. I mean. That's why it's called sin. So, and even the Bible teaches we all sin. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's fallen short of the glory of God, so to speak. So why worry about it? Choose your sins wisely if that's the case. Don't let your sins control you. So, I don't know. That's about all I can say right now. I know it's not eloquently put, but it's kind of my belief structure. It changes, as do I, and as I will continue. And I probably won't know exactly what I believe in the second I probably figure it all out is probably a couple seconds before I die. So maybe, hopefully, if that's the case, I never figure it out, because I really don't want to. That's half the fun. It's just living this life, knowing that we're all a bunch of kind of confused meat puppets wandering around, like not even aware of the strings that pull us because we tied them many years ago, or were tied for us by people close to us. And somebody told me it's not even about becoming anymore, it's about unbecoming what everybody has put in you, and you've become in a reaction to them. So just be free and love. That's pretty much, I mean, do what thou willest, as long as you don't hurt anybody. What did Crowley say? Do what thou will shall be the highest of the law. Harm ye none, or something like that. I know the Crowley and the Wiccans have a very similar saying. So, I don't know. I know that I don't know 100% everything. I'm not intelligent enough to understand a lot of the things, nor do I have the time anymore. And that's the other thing, Lori. I don't care anymore. I know it sounds crazy a lot. I don't care. I've resolved the fact that I'm never going to completely know. So why worry about it? And if I'm wrong, I think the Bible teaches that the souls that are God doesn't want, he destroys in the lake of fire. Like, the soul isn't eternal. If the soul is eternal, Jesus came for no reason, because he came to give people eternal life. So why would he need to do that if the soul's eternal? Not that I even believe that, but even by their rules, which I, was programmed to believe there's a way out for the sinners like me, I just gotta say, okay, we're done with you, and I will cease to be. I don't believe in eternal torment if that's the case, which I'd much rather discuss, other options and philosophies when it comes to that, because it's so fear-based. That's the other thing. I mean, there are some beliefs that ring true to you as you live, and you adapt them because they're true. One of them is, I love philosophy. I love Buddhism. I love a lot of stuff because I'm not into the technical, just like Christianity. There's 3,000 plus sects of Buddhism. It's just mind-blowing, all the different things that we as humans have done to religions over time. Religion starts out good. First 100 years, it's amazing probably, and then every year after that, another classification and sect is added to it. So the religions that are 2,000 years old are just fucked up because of all the different people that have written on it and analyzed it and destroyed it with analyzation. I got sidetracked. But philosophy and Buddhism, and oh man, I had a good thought I was going to share there because it's one of my, well, I know I say this a lot when I think about the religions. You could take Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad, and if you brought them all back, they'd probably be able to sit down and have a cup of coffee together and not want to blow each other up or crucify one another or whatever, fate. I don't think the religions, the three major, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, they all came from that one little part of the world, and they're still fighting them damn wars. They're still killing each other over draconic, belief structures that are futile now. Futile. Oh man, I know I had something I was going to say there about Buddhism and man, it's early. God and religion and all of it. It's just, oh yeah, they're not put here to worry about it. That's the main thing. I'm not put here to worry about it anymore. I've concluded the fact that I don't care anymore. Nothing I do is going to change the fact that I am who I am. I was created this way, whether it was by God or genetics or environment or whatever. We all are human, and human means sin. The Bible teaches that. I mean, everybody knows nobody's perfect. So that's the bottom line. I've accepted my nature. I've accepted my nature of imperfection. And I don't desire to try to make myself miserable, wondering whether or not my soul's going to burn forever in a pit of fire because I didn't say the right magic words to the right God or entity. Now I remember what I was going to say. It's not so much, God, I had it and it disappeared. It's on the tip of my tongue again. I don't think that we are put here to suffer that way. That's the bottom line. We weren't put here to suffer. I don't care anymore because it's not going to change who basically I am and my nature. And, oh yes, there's a Chinese proverb. That's what it was. And I stick with this. The truth rings true. And that's something I said earlier, and this is the Chinese proverb. Something sticks with you because it's true when it hits you. And it hits you, you feel it. And this is the philosophy. Either people are motivated by two things, and this is the truth: fear or love. That's it. They either are afraid or they love. Now, there's a lot of definitions and perceptions on that word, but so much of New Age stuff, especially the 2012 apocalyptic stuff, and so much of the Bible and the way that Christians or religious leaders use the book is not to motivate people out of love, but it's to motivate people out of fear. And anything that gives me that feeling nowadays, it sends up a red flag. If it makes me afraid, if it tries to control me by making me fear, fuck it. I ain't gonna be afraid of it. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to fear. Fear is a good thing, you know, if you're being chased by a goddamn grizzly bear. Yes, fear is a good thing. But not when it comes to God. I mean, you know, that big thing, fear God, actually was have reverence for God, have respect for that thing which is undefinable, that when it comes, you will move out of its way. And I do, but I don't fear it. I don't like, you know, it doesn't give me an icky feeling inside. And that's basically why I'm not into religion anymore, because it's so fear-based. Even a lot of the New Age stuff is so, like, it's based in, it's like a coin. Like, it's so crazy. The hardcore left path, occultic people that are all ritualistic, they're just like the Christians. They're just wearing black instead of white, and they're saying things. I mean, it's almost ridiculous. They play off each other. I don't know. I guess that's all I gotta say right now. I mean, I have had some significant occultic experiences, and they do play into my belief structure a little bit, but I don't like to talk about those unless I know you quite well. And there's some interesting things. There's some things that have happened to me in the spirit realm and the unseen. I read tarot. I do actively engage the symbolism of the world and try to get answers from all symbols that are presented to me throughout the day. So that's why I read tarot, because they're just a fancy mirror in a way. A lot of divination systems are just psychologically based fancy mirrors with a little spirit in there, if you believe such a thing. But they work. I've predicted births and I've predicted deaths with my tarot cards, and they have come true. So I'm not going to say, you know, it's me, because it's all I'm doing is mixing up the recipe, and then the cupcakes are made, you know. That's how magic works, like, if you believe it. And I do. I believe there is power there, but it's not like I'm, you know, sacrificing cats to the ancient ball god of Egypt or something. No, it's not like that. I mean, it could be. I'm sure there's people out there doing weird shit like that, but magic's much more simpler to me now that I've actively used it pretty much my entire adult life. Everybody uses magic every day. We just don't realize it. We don't actually have the knowledge or perception, a lot of us, to know that we're doing magical things. Words are magic. This whole video is a magic spell, and if looked at in the right perspective. So life is magic, and sunsets are magic, and taking a shit's magic if you do it the right way. So that's kind of how I don't know, that's my belief structure too. It's not so serious anymore. I don't care. I was put here to play, and I play. So hopefully you play too. But let me know what's going on online if I feel sufficiently satisfied in my explanation of who I am and what I believe. But I mean, who I am is not what I do. It's not what I look like. It's not what I eat. It's not where I go. It's like a Fight Club sort of thing. You know, I am not these jeans that I'm wearing, nor am I this dragon necklace that I have on. I am just something else. It's something way beyond even words that can express. I'm a soul. So are you. And this soul's here to play. Have a good day. You too. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this clears up some of it, or confuses you even further where you don't even try to understand. But this is a shout out to my friend Olivia, and thanks for letting me do a reading for you and everything, and hopefully this answers your questions. Talk to you soon. I want some of my listeners to put up a video in response. I don't want a good comment. I don't want a thumbs up. That's so lame. Thumbs up. I don't need no thumbs up. I want to hear what you believe. I want to hear what you have to say, and I want you to think about it. Try to define who you are. It's harder than you think. I've been, since, you know, this young girl hit me with these questions, I've been trying to, like, wow, who am I? What am I? Am I what I do? And it's brought back a lot of philosophical inquiries that I had when I was younger. And, you know, a lot of times we just go through life and not think about who we are and what we're trying to be. And so it was cool. Anyways, have a great day. Bye.